My name is Jay Moyles. I'm Chief of Marine Rescue for Manatee County, Florida. And I heard about the water through a friend of ours who started working for the company. I think one of the most profound things was clarity. Mental clarity, alertness, the ability to pick up things better. I think stay alert longer, especially in the line of work that I do. I'm tasked with trying to stay up for activations and just being alert during the workday. I think the water helped there. The other thing was some health issues as well. Some of the things surrounding flushing out my system and so forth, and I think just in general a better physical condition, health, especially being out in the sun, better hydration. I've utilized the water a couple of different ways than what is the standard drinking of it. I've used it in a steam form for sinus infections. I've also flushed out my sinuses with it, and more curiously, I was able to breathe the gas at one point. I was able to connect with one of the inventors of the water, the scientist involved with it, and I was dealing with a health issue, pneumonia, and was able to get down to the area that they developed technology for the water and the gas, and I was able to get hooked up to the gas and breathe. When the time came to make my way down there to meet with Rob, I was unable to really talk, and I was coughing constantly. To be hooked up to the machine for 20 minutes, breathing that in, Rob came in and asked if I had any notice of a change or if I noticed anything different, at which point I said, I'm not sure. Surprisingly enough, I spoke without my voice cracking. The other thing that came to my attention through Rob pointing it out was I had not coughed since I began breathing the gas. So I guess I can say the water and the gas similar, both one comes from the next. So those are the differences. And another way that I've used it was I was out on a boat with a couple of friends, and we were down in Sarasota Bay. As I was moving around the boat, I had to step to the stern section of the boat and jammed my shin up against the cap of the boat. Didn't realize I got a cut on my shin rather deep, a little piece of fiberglass in it as well. Was able to clean the wound out by spraying some Watt-Ahh on it, and used that strictly as a compress. I was able to take some gauze pads, moisten them down with the Watt-Ahh, put a bandage over that, over the cut, and within a number of days I noticed healing. The wound was clean. I had no pain. The wound healed very quickly. I was amazed just by the sheer fact that dealing with cuts, scrapes, and wounds in my line of work, especially in the water, salt water, these things don't heal as readily. This cleared up very quickly, and had I been smart enough to talk to Rob and Ted a little bit more, I think I probably would have used that compress saturated with water a little bit more to help induce a better healing of the wound's scar. I think that probably could have helped. Another way that I used the water was I was at a gas station filling my truck up, turned around after I'd put the gas pump away, closed my gas nozzle in the car, and it was a windy winter day. I turned around, the door opened up and hit me square in the forehead. And of course I reach up and you give that look like, oh thank God I'm not bleeding, which at the time I wasn't. So I look around, check to make sure I don't look like an idiot, and then I get into my car, put the car into gear after starting it, look in the rearview mirror to check, and I've got blood dripping down my face. I keep a bottle of Watt-Ahh in the car with a spray attachment on it. I reach for a couple of napkins, spray the wound, pack that on there. The next 3 nights to 4 nights in a row, I did the same thing I did for my leg. Put a compress on, it was healed up, and you can hardly see anything on my forehead. And people saw the scar initially, saw the wound initially, and said, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And 4 days, it was totally healed up. Just a slight little white line. And I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed as of late, being that I've been a chronic sinus infection sufferer, this happened because I trace it back to the point when I dove for a rescue in red tide out in Sarasota Bay. I'd gotten sinus infections twice a year, without fail. I started inhaling the steam and also flushing my sinuses with the Watt-Ahh. And I have not, in the last 2 years, had a sinus infection that has led me to the point where I have had to go in the past. Doctor's visits, antibiotics, the whole 9 yards, fevers, none of that. So I think that's one of the biggest benefits that I've felt health-wise for me.